Just wanted to remind all of you that I am, in fact, the biggest and the nicest bear that there ever was, that ever could live. But it is time to do a discussion video as I eat all of my jammies. Filters do not work on fat people. I don't know if y'all ever noticed that, but it's really making me look really fat right now. That was fun. Alright, moving on along. Alright, if the community had their way with the ban list, it is time to talk about this. First thing I gotta say, this is everything that I read on the internet on the daily that people want done in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I don't think some of these things are correct, but these are the general conspiracies in which, if the people had their way at Konami, this is how the game would be better. Number one, Dante would be banned. That is fucking correct, everybody. For some reason, just because Burning Abyss is still a relevant deck in 2018, for some reason, the people in this community have this preconceived notion that Dante is a problem card. Dante is a floater that has the ability to mill cards at cost. I don't know what in my scientific life has ever been an issue with a card that mills cards at cost, but there seems to be this big fuck you, Dante, that just exists. And I don't get it. At the end of the day, I think that this is just some leftover butthurt that is still wandering around from the old days. And I think it's just this preconceived notion at this point in time that people are like, nah, man, Dante's still... I think sometimes it's the same group of people that are just bitching because they just hate X archetype. And there's a reason we might not say it, and I'll be one of the first people to say it. I think that if a lot of people had their hand in the Konami cookie jar making these ban lists, I think a lot of the things we'd be seeing on these lists, I think it would be a lot worse than it actually is. You know, whatever bias Konami has towards Stratos, I'm fine with saying that Stratos was a very, very valiant sacrifice in the grand scheme of things. But at the end of the day, let's be real here. Was it enough? I think the biggest thing about having a quote-unquote fair list is people look at the biases that they have and they get angry at them. You know, like I said, current biases that this community has. Stratos shouldn't be banned. Yeah, we know. All right. Let the powers... If Stratos is the cost to have what I consider a decent game, you know, fuck it. That's fine. You know, I don't think we're going to do a better job at coming up with a list than anybody else is. And, oh, well, you know, it'd be nice to have more talks about why they're hitting X cards or things like that. Sure. There can always be more. But that's another video or another day of video for another discussion. But point is, this community actually just despises the living hell out of Dante as a card. It's still ridiculous to me that a card like Dante gets this much hate at the end of the day. I get it. I do. Just leftover memories. Number 2, Masterpiece. Immune to the ban list. Yeah, right? Yeah, sure, yeah. You know, he has been immune to the ban list. Dynamite, let's be real here, all right? If Dynamite Knight was still around, oh, you would be even more pissed. Hitting Dynamite was a very, very good hit. And sure, Diagram, Masterpiece, being able to disrupt on the opponent's turn, yeah, it's all fucking unfair. So is my opponent being able to build a turn 1 board that I can't break unless, oh, I burn through 2 negations, and I have an evenly matched and something else. Oh, wait, and some of the board can float. Yeah, it's fucking fair. You know, like, some people are like, Robbie, your judgment's a little bit clouded. You know, sure, I know Masterpiece is a problem, but so is the rest of the degeneracy with the format. I get it. But for the most part, something needs to happen to Masterpiece so that the community can calm down on this. We've heard this. It goes back to the Dante thing. I think these quote-unquote floating problem cards tend to kind of come into the air, and people like just they have a hate for them. You guys remember years ago when we were all bitching about Monster Reborn being the most sarcastic card in the game and how it was so absurdly unfair and it was so overpowered, and I can't believe Konami ever brought that back, you know. And now look at it, fucking Monster Reborn's back. I ain't heard a damn word about it, alright? I've heard one Borreload story. A fucking fresh top deck Monster Reborn in the opponent's Borreload Dragon. Woo! Dropping the fucking salt on that. But that's all I've heard. I've really not heard anything else about Monster Reborn being a broken card. I think a lot of these things, a lot of these trends come with the times too. It's very interesting because we'll hate certain cards at one point in time, and we'll get the fuck over them at another. Love my computer. It won't die. Number 3. That's right. You know how much this community... we used to hate Dragon Buster. Such an unfair card, it can fucking tag out. Fucking, no, not fair at all. Cards that typically had the ability to tag out, yeah, Dragon Buster was like the first of its kind. Another perfect example. I haven't heard a lot of hate about Dragon Buster. I think all of our hate for Dragon Buster has gone back to Dante and gone back to Masterpiece. It tends to come in with the trends of what's doing good at the moment. I don't hear any savage, you know, fucking burn Macabre, I lost. No, you don't. It's really weird. You can hear more hate for Astrograph at the moment than anything, but let's be fair. Astrograph deserves it. He's a big pain in the ass. And the newest one that we've already got complaining, next to Masterpiece, fucking Mono Watto over here. The real MVP. This guy shows up out of nowhere. He's like, yeah, I'm the first spirit monster to do anything since Yugioh, yay. And the dude is just, he's wrecking hand traps. And did we miss the memo about where people were like, oh, Mono Watto's good? Yeah. It took innovation and things for people to, you know, discover this. And then we reach this climax at the end of the day where the Mono Watto's good, and of course the community starts complaining about it. You know, like I said, the interesting thing about this community is, much like everything, we always have an opinion for something that is causing a bitch fit, whether or not it be something inherently broken, Astrograph's gotta go, or, you know, we had a lot of pitchforks going for Pendulum Magician. Deck's so unfair, you know. Yeah, we got to do something about it. And it slowly quieted down into acceptance. And then the pitchforks came back when True Draco attacked. You know, and I'm going to say this about Salt Lake City. I think what ended up happening was so many people started oversiding for Pendulum Magician, and they started unsiding for True Draco. And this gives me an interesting mentality. Eventually, if enough players realize that they can play X deck for X best matchup, and then enough players start playing it, and they have the best matchup because these Pendulum Magicians aren't siding for them like they should be, you know, Mountain shuts off their hand traps, well, you're just in a much better situation than you should be. If your deck going into an event has been forgotten about and you develop a strategy to beat things, congratulations, you broke the format. And I don't know if I would say True Draco can win another event. I'll be completely honest with you. I'm kind of considering this a one-time abnormality, but we'll have to wait and see for that to be true. The reason why I say it feels like an abnormality at the end of the day is, look at it. You have a deck that, how many Kaijus did you see in people's side decks? I did not see a lot. And I know a lot of people keep telling me, well, Kaijus don't stop the deck. They're not going to open insane draw power every single fucking game. I'm sorry to tell you that. As a True Draco player, you will have 1 out of 4 games you don't see Card Demise. Oh well, you know. What happens if you don't draw the Mountain, you know, and your opponent has the Ash Blossom? There are a lot of interactions in terms of numbers and statistics that are there that should be preventing this from happening. But 4 True Draco got in. 4 True Draco finished everything off that they needed to do it. YCS. Moral of the story, though. If the player base has the right to make a ban list, I think it will be the most absurdly stupid shit we've ever had. I like the community having a say on things. I think that the mass part of the community and leaving it to the individuals to do so and make these decisions, most of the time, as of late, things have been going pretty goddamn good. I'll be honest with you. I'm very pro Konami at the moment because I'm happy with the way things are going. Game stores are getting the support that they finally need, with OTS packs being able to be more readily available to them. They don't have to purchase them anymore. You know, it's a good step in the right direction for stores and revitalizing the player base wanting to go to locals. It's something we've needed for a while. But that's another video for another day. So remember, support your local LGS. They have bills to pay too. People don't seem to realize that. Contrary to popular belief. Alright guys, I'm deucing the fuck on out. I got some Dairy Queen to go eat.
The ride never ends, guys. Make sure you enable those notifications to get the latest videos that are being posted on this channel. Make sure you guys check out VanCole40 for my Cardfight Vanguard channel. And join me and House of Champions on the Zodiac Duelist TV Twitch stream. We'll be interacting with our audiences. And please check out No Limit Gaming and LGTCG.com for the cheapest trading cards on the market. Thanks for watching, guys, and please have a good day.